È un po' più complicata la cosa.
Clark Poundstone, intelligence del Pentagono.
Poundstone dalla caccia a qualcosa. E noi dobbiamo scoprire a cosa.
Come arriverà a lui?
Green Zone unfolds as an intense and grounded war thriller set during the early days of the Iraq War, presenting a story that blends action with political tension and psychological uncertainty. The film centers on a U.S. Army officer who is deployed with a clear mission to locate weapons of mass destruction believed to be hidden across Baghdad. From the very beginning, the narrative establishes a sense of urgency and confusion, as each mission carried out by his unit leads to empty sites, raising doubts about the intelligence that initially justified the invasion. This repeated failure becomes more than just a tactical issue. It slowly transforms into a personal obsession for the protagonist, who begins to question not only the mission but also the larger system behind it. As the story progresses, the atmosphere becomes increasingly tense, with the chaotic environment of a war-torn city acting as both a physical and psychological battlefield. The streets are unpredictable, filled with danger at every turn, and the line between ally and enemy is often blurred. The protagonist's growing frustration is portrayed through his interactions with both his fellow soldiers and the officials who continue to insist that the mission is on track. There is a constant push and pull between what he is told to believe and what he sees with his own eyes, creating a powerful internal conflict that drives the narrative forward. The film introduces a range of characters who each represent different perspectives within the conflict. Some are deeply committed to the official narrative, trusting the information they have been given without question, while others operate in shades of gray, motivated by personal agendas or survival. Among these individuals are journalists, intelligence officers, and local informants, all of whom play a role in shaping the protagonist's understanding of the situation. These interactions add layers to the story, showing how information can be manipulated, misunderstood, or weaponized depending on who controls it. One of the most compelling aspects of the narrative is its exploration of truth and perception. The protagonist's journey becomes less about finding physical weapons and more about uncovering the truth behind their supposed existence. Each clue he follows leads to more questions, pulling him deeper into a web of secrecy and deception. This shift in focus transforms the film from a straightforward military operation into a gripping investigation, where the stakes are not just about survival, but about exposing a reality that others may not want revealed. The setting plays a crucial role in amplifying the tension. Baghdad is depicted as a city on edge where every movement feels risky and every decision carries consequences. The film uses its environment effectively, creating a sense of immersion that places the audience directly into the chaos. Dust-filled streets, abandoned buildings, and crowded marketplaces all contribute to a feeling of instability, reinforcing the idea that nothing is certain and that danger can emerge at any moment. This constant unpredictability mirrors the protagonist's own state of mind, as he navigates through conflicting information and shifting loyalties. Action sequences are handled with a raw and realistic approach, avoiding unnecessary exaggeration in favor of authenticity. Rather than focusing solely on spectacle, these moments are used to highlight the dangers faced by soldiers on the ground. Each encounter feels immediate and intense, with a sense of vulnerability that keeps the audience engaged. The film does not glorify combat, but instead presents it as chaotic and often disorienting, emphasizing the human cost of war rather than its heroics. As the investigation deepens, the protagonist begins to uncover inconsistencies that suggest a larger cover-up. The intelligence reports that once seemed reliable are revealed to be based on questionable sources, and the chain of command appears more concerned with maintaining a narrative than confronting the truth. This realization adds a layer of moral complexity to the story, forcing the protagonist to make difficult choices about loyalty, duty, and integrity. His determination to uncover the truth puts him at odds with powerful figures, increasing the tension and raising the stakes even further. The relationships within the film are shaped by this atmosphere of uncertainty. Trust becomes a rare and valuable commodity, as characters must constantly assess who they can rely on. The protagonist's interactions with local allies provide moments of insight into the broader impact of the conflict, highlighting the perspectives of those who live within the war zone. These connections add emotional depth to the story, reminding the audience that the consequences of the conflict extend far beyond military objectives. A significant theme throughout the narrative is the idea of accountability. The film raises questions about who is responsible when decisions are made based on flawed or manipulated information. It challenges the notion of blind obedience, suggesting that individuals have a responsibility to question authority when the truth is at stake. This theme is explored through the protagonist's actions as he moves further away from simply following orders and begins to act on his own sense of right and wrong. The pacing of the film reflects its investigative nature, gradually building tension as new pieces of information come to light. Each discovery brings the protagonist closer to understanding the reality of the situation, but also increases the danger he faces. The closer he gets to the truth, the more resistance he encounters, creating a sense of inevitability that drives the story toward its climax. This build-up ensures that the final moments carry significant weight, as the revelations have far-reaching implications. When the story reaches its peak, the focus shifts to the consequences of uncovering the truth. The protagonist must decide how to act on what he has learned, knowing that his choices could have serious repercussions. This moment serves as a culmination of his journey, bringing together the themes of truth, responsibility, and courage. It highlights the personal cost of standing up against powerful systems, as well as the importance of doing so despite the risks. The resolution of the film does not offer easy answers. Instead, it leaves the audience with a sense of reflection, encouraging them to think about the complexities of war and the role of information in shaping public perception. This ambiguity adds to the film's impact, making it more than just an action thriller and positioning it as a thought-provoking exploration of modern conflict. Throughout its runtime, the film maintains a balance between tension and introspection, ensuring that the story remains engaging while also delivering a meaningful message. It avoids oversimplifying its themes, instead presenting a nuanced perspective that acknowledges the complexities of the situation. This approach allows it to resonate with viewers on multiple levels, offering both entertainment and insight. The performances play a key role in bringing this story to life, with characters that feel grounded and believable. Their reactions to the unfolding events add authenticity to the narrative, making the emotional stakes more impactful. The protagonist, in particular, is portrayed as someone who evolves over time, moving from a position of certainty to one of doubt and ultimately to a deeper understanding of his role within the larger picture. Visually, the film adopts a style that complements its tone, using a slightly gritty and realistic aesthetic to reinforce the sense of immersion. The camera work often feels immediate and unpolished, adding to the authenticity of the experience. This choice helps to create a connection between the audience and the events on screen, making the story feel more immediate and real. At its core, the film is about the search for truth in an environment where truth is constantly obscured. It examines how information can be controlled and manipulated, and how individuals must navigate this landscape to find their own understanding. This central idea gives the story its emotional and intellectual weight, making it memorable beyond its action sequences. In the end, the journey presented in Green Zone is not just about a soldier in a war zone, but about a person confronting the gap between belief and reality. It is a story that challenges assumptions, encourages critical thinking, and highlights the importance of questioning what we are told. By focusing on these themes, the film creates an experience that lingers long after it is over. Leaving the audience with questions that extend beyond the screen, Green Zone unfolds as an intense and grounded war thriller set during the early days of the Iraq War, presenting a story that blends action with political tension and psychological uncertainty. The film centers on a U.S. Army officer who is deployed with a clear mission to locate weapons of mass destruction believed to be hidden across Baghdad. From the very beginning, the narrative establishes a sense of urgency and confusion, as each mission carried out by his unit leads to empty sites, raising doubts about the intelligence that initially justified the invasion. This repeated failure becomes more than just a tactical issue. It slowly transforms into a personal obsession for the protagonist, who begins to question not only the mission but also the larger system behind it. As the story progresses, the atmosphere becomes increasingly tense, with the chaotic environment of a war-torn city acting as both a physical and psychological battlefield. The streets are unpredictable, filled with danger at every turn, and the line between ally and enemy is often blurred. The protagonist's growing frustration is portrayed